This is a quick introduction to the Tempo DigiAlert series of test telephones. So when you receive this and take it out of the box, one of the first things you need to do is to loosen 3 screws, pop off the battery cover, place in a battery, check that the cords are routed through the strain relief, and reattach the battery cover. The screws need only be finger tight. The Tempo Communications Nautilus series of test telephones are built rugged and weatherproof. We have a integrated silicone rubber seal all the way around the main case. Underneath the battery cover there is a small seal protecting the battery compartment, yet the battery compartment is actually sealed from the main electronics. There is no access to the electronics in here, so these are very, very resilient. If you drop it in a puddle, it'll actually float, and then just wipe it down, clean it, and away you go. The use of the push buttons makes the system very much easier to control. It can be left hand or right hand. You don't have to stretch your thumb into any awkward positions to change modes. And we'll talk about the basic controls. We have talk, monitor, and mute. Instantaneous push buttons, one quick press to change mode, and we'll show that in a second. On the front side of the unit, we have the main keypad, so we've got the dozen normal dialing keys. We have a pulse mode. If you do find a pulse line you want to check, you can actually select pulse dialing before going off hook. We have flash for time break recall. We have a speaker, which is for loudspeaking listening in monitor mode and for full hands-free on this model in talk mode. There's a volume control which can give you a bit of a boost if you need it. There is the polarity test key, memory store, memory recall, and last number recall stroke pause. Pauses can be entered using this key during dialing. You can see now we're hooked up to a telephone line, so what we'll do is use this in a sort of normal way. You would probably start by testing in monitor mode, in which case you can listen to any activity on the line, or press the speaker and you can hear anything on the line. So there's a bit of mains hum coming from the line here. If we're happy that the line is good, we can then go off hook by pressing the upper button. So that was this button, so on hook, off hook. And when we're off hook, we can see the red light is flashing here, and if I decide to go into hands-free mode, I press the speaker button. So you can hear dial tone, but you'll also notice that this LED here is actually flashing. So that's indicating that the unit is actually in mute mode at this point, so no speech is being sent from the hands-free microphone to the line. We chose to do that because we think it makes more sense that on this test telephone, when you go into hands-free mode, you're more likely to want to listen before actually speaking. But to speak, simply quick press on the mute button at the bottom there, and then you'll see this LED is now off. And if you want to mute again, quick press, different beep, and the green LED is flashing again. Whilst you're in a call, you can actually check the polarity again. So the polarity LED, top left-hand corner, but you can also do that in monitor mode as well. So we're in monitor mode, you can hear the buzz from the on-hook line. It's just a symptom of this line simulator. And again, I can check the polarity. When you're in monitor mode, and say for instance on this line you want to actually hear if there is caller ID, because there's supposed to be caller ID, then here you'll hear the initial short ring followed by the caller ID modem tones, and then it'll go into the normal ring sequence. Let's try this. Let's now quickly demonstrate the digital service protection features of the Nautilus series test telephones. What we are connected to here is a simulated telephone line, and if I go off hook as normal, I can just loop the line and hear dial tone and so on. If, however, that line has a DSL circuit running on it, when you attempt to go off hook, you get the DigiAlert warning sound. Now, if you want to, and you're sure that you're not going to cause too much trouble to the consumer, you can press the talk button a second time, and now it's off hook with dial tone. So that is protecting the digital service from inadvertent off-hook conditions. The unit also has a filter in, so when it is off-hook, it is high impedance to high frequency signals. And one thing that's interesting about this is I've overridden this now, so if I choose to press off-hook again, you can see it's gone straight off-hook. It's actually latched the override condition, and that is latched until DC is removed from the line. So when you disconnect that, you can hear that's now alarming because it's unbalanced, and it stays in the alarm situation, but I can override it again. Another way that the Nautilus series of test telephones from Tempo protect both themselves and the network from damage is that they detect excessive voltages on the circuit. So when connected to a normal telephone line, so around 50 volts nominally, let's say up to 60 volts, it'll just operate as normal, apart from the DigiAlert detection. When it detects a higher voltage, so in this case it's connected to an approximately 80 volt line, so I think the threshold is between 75 and 115, that is classified as what we call the intermediate level voltage, and when you attempt to go off hook, it's not actually gone off hook yet, so you've got the alternate red and green flashing LED here, and you're getting that short beep. This is telling you that there is a voltage which is questionable, and if you wanted to, you can go off hook by a second press on the talk button. Now I'm back in monitor mode, and if I increase the voltage on our test line here to over 120 volts, then we're into what's called the high voltage protection regime. So 120 volts is often found on ISDN circuits, pair gain circuits and the like. Probably less common these days, but if you do find a line with this on it, you will hear this alarm. That longer, lower pitch beep cannot be overridden because that probably would cause damage to the unit. The only other condition to think of is if you ever connect to a circuit and you have a continuous ringing tone coming from the speaker, that could be an indication that there is AC mains on that circuit. So be careful and remove the clips very carefully one at a time. If you have any questions about the Nautilus series of test telephones, please get in contact with your local representative, and if not, contact us at tempocom.com. Thank you.